What's up, you guys? It's Ben here. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. In today's video, we're going to be discussing, should you save your money or should you invest your money? It's a good question with answers that might surprise you. So stick around to the end to find out. Two things we got to do first. First, you got to make somebody smile today. Second, you got to smile today because life's too short not to be happy. For those who don't know me, my name is Ben. I'm just like you, trying to figure out this crazy world. On this channel, we talk everything from business and finance to personal growth and mastery. With that said, guys, let's get into the video. So today we're pretty much talking in essence what to do with your money. Should you keep it under your mattress at home, put it in some bank account, invest in stocks or real estate? There's a lot of options, and I hope that I can help narrow it down for you. Just know that this is my personal advice and what I recommend. Always do your own research before you make any financial decisions. First things first, I'm gonna be so real with you guys. Do not, please do not, if there's one thing you don't do, is put your money under your mattress, in your bed, at home, where it sits there and doesn't grow. That is the last thing I want to hear. That's where your money is. If it is there, I'm sorry, I don't mean to hurt your feelings, but there's just better places to put your money where it can grow for you. With that out of the way, let's talk about the places that are good for your money. Now, there are some good ones, there's some better ones, and there's some not so good ones. Let's talk about the not so good first. Checkings accounts. Now, we all have them and we all need them, but they're not the best place to put your money. They offer laughable interest rates and they have almost no incentive for you to keep your money. When looking for good bank accounts, whether there's checkings or savings, I'd recommend a couple things off the bat. No minimum fees or required balance to have, no annual fees, and no overdraft fees, and if there are, they can be waived. And for checkings accounts, I look for places that you have ATMs close by to you that also offer either no charge to get out money or their ATM fees can be waived. Now, checkings accounts, if you really want to use one, or ones that I would recommend, I would recommend online banks like Ally Bank, Discover Bank, or Chime. But if you're wanting to do a brick and mortar, I personally use my credit union. Your local credit unions usually offer the best rates that you can get and low fees, and they usually support the community, which I think is super cool. Now let's talk about the better, savings accounts. And don't get me wrong, I think savings accounts are good, especially for unexpected expenses and rainy days. They offer the highest interest rates out of banks as far as banks go. So your money does sit there and grow, but at a slow rate. And talking about rainy day and unexpected expenses, you hear a lot of people say it's going to have a 6-month cushion. And while I think that's a really good goal to have, it's pretty unrealistic for the average person. I think a 3-month period is a pretty good start for you to have. If you have 3 months worth of expenses, that covers anything that can come up, any kind of purchases that you might need, and it also gives you that cushion. Now, things to look in a good savings account. First, again, absolutely no annual fees ever. We don't deal with them, and if they come with them, throw them out the window. Second is they don't require a minimum balance of past, like $100. It's pretty unreasonable for any place to ask you for $1,000 to hold your bank. Not many do that, but make sure that yours doesn't. The last thing is to make sure that they're FDIC insured up to $250,000. Essentially, that means that if your bank fails for whatever reason, that the FDIC will pay for you and reimburse you any kind of losses you suffer. It doesn't happen very often, but it is really important to have. The last thing to look in a savings account, which some would argue being the best and most important thing, is the interest rate, or the APY, the annual percentage yield. Essentially, all that means is that how much money you're almost guaranteed for having your money on that account for a year. Sadly, this is where I would not recommend brick and mortar banks like I did the credit unions for their checking account, because brick and mortar banks just simply cannot compete with the interest rates that online banks have. And I know, people, you're already thinking, online banks, what is he doing? He's trying to scam me. Online banks are nothing but frauds. And I thought that first, don't get me wrong, I did. But doing just a little bit of research, there's some numbers that really might change your mind. So we're gonna take a simple, basic brick and mortar savings account. The average interest rate for that is 0.09%. The average yield for an online savings account is 1.6, which is more than 16 times your brick and mortar. Now let's just put that into perspective. Say you have $1,000. In 1 year, that $1,000 will make you 90 cents at a brick and mortar bank. No, you heard it right, 90 cents. That's crazy. That is less than $1 for $1,000 worth of money? Absolutely not. Now, online savings accounts, again, They don't offer the best return for your money, but they offer at least about $16 you'll get every year for having $1,000. Online banks offer everything a brick and mortar do, but better. They have better interest rates, lower fees typically, and they have superior and optimal customer service and experience. I don't ever see a day me going back to using a brick and mortar bank for a savings account. If that ever does, I'll let you guys know. But as of right now, it's not looking good for them. Like I said, the average rate is about 1.6% as of making this video. And that's still substantially better than a brick and mortar at the 0.09. But it is to be noted that interest rates fluctuate from both online banks and brick and mortar banks. So I'd always be checking in every couple months just to make sure that your bank is still competing with the best. I know it seems like a lot to maybe have to change your bank every couple months, but it's worth it in the long run for your money. If trying to figure that out seems like too much of a hassle, I will be doing update videos when I see fit on the interest rates or big changes in the banking world. So if that sounds good to you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and keep an eye out for those videos. With that said, guys, here are my top savings accounts for 2020 that I would recommend. Sitting at number 1, and the one that I use, is Discover Bank. It offers no annual fees, has no minimum balance required. Their app is great, and it has a 1.6% interest rate. Sitting at my number 2 and 3 spot are Ally Bank with a 1.6% and Goldman Sachs sitting at a little bit higher than 1.7%. Now I know what you might be saying, why aren't I using Goldman Sachs? It does offer a higher interest rate. I've just been using Discover for a long time, and the 0.1% of an interest rate doesn't seem that big to me to move all my money, considering I like my Discover Bank a lot. But Goldman Sachs definitely is a good option. There are ones that will offer higher interest rates, some that'll offer lower. Again, do your own research, but those are my top recommendations. All right, guys, well, that wraps up about our bank. Now we're gonna get into what I consider my favorite topic, investing. And investing is a pretty scary word. It doesn't have a really good reputation. A lot of people think that it's only for the wealthiest people, with people with a lot of money. And I'm here to tell you that's just not true anymore. The barrier for entry has never been lower. You can invest with as low as $5. And I'm not lying, $5. That's as much as Starbucks drinks cost. So why not try investing in the future? Now, there's a multitude of ways to invest. There's stock market, real estate, bonds, companies themselves. So we got to figure out which ones are the best. And for the purpose of this video, I'm going to talk about the most beginner friendly, the easiest way I think it is to get into investing, and that's with the stock market. There are many different ways to invest in the stock market and different platforms. Some platforms offer you incentives actually, like Acorns. If you sign up with them, they give you a free $5 to start investing. That link is down in the description down below. The safest way to invest in the stock market, in my opinion, is through ETFs and index funds. They're essentially a mesh of companies in a single stock that allow for broad diversification. And if you didn't know, pretty much the number one recommendation when it comes to investing is diversification. Essentially, it allows for not keeping all your eggs in one basket. If one thing kind of falls through, you have other things that will keep you afloat. Index funds and ETFs are no different. When you look at something like the S&P 500 with a historical return rate of about 10%, that blows our 1.6 rate out of the water from our savings account. Now, it is to know that historical rates for the stock market have averaged about 8 to 10%, but they are not guaranteed, and you should only be investing your money in the long term. I can't stress that enough, long term. Just like a savings account, an investment account should not be used for short-term gains. You're not going to see returns like 8 to 10% if you just stick it in for a couple months. And you might say, well, why would I waste the money that I have now, or I have other expenses that I need? Well, let's be real first, and there's probably some expenses that you can cut out of your life that are more wants to help invest for your future. And the second, let's be real here. You want to have a house, right? You want to have a retirement. You want to smash that like button. No, but for real, you have things down the road in life that you're going to want, so why not invest for that future? And like I said, investing in the market is not nearly as intimidating as you think it is. And we will be talking about entry-level investments and where to start in this video. But if you guys would like a more in-depth video of where to go after, leave a comment down below and let me know. So where are the best places to start? For me, it's a no-brainer, and it's partial stocks. Partial stocks are what they sound like. Instead of purchasing a full stock, you do get to buy a partial share of that stock. So take something like the S&P 500, which at the making of this video is $3,337. That's a really high barrier. But if you invest in something that allows you to get a partial share of it, you can get $5 or $10 worth of the S&P 500 share, and you're still investing in the top 500 companies. That's pretty cool in my opinion. Now, not every brokerage does do partial stocks, so here's a list of ones that I know that do that I also recommend. At the top of the list is Acorns. I talked about them a little bit earlier and I can't rave about them enough. They are the best place for beginner and experienced investors, in my opinion, to go to. They offer a plethora of options and the barrier to get into them is as low as $5. I am going to be doing a full review on them soon. Until then, here are some of the top things I love about Acorns. With Acorns, it costs a whole whopping $5 to get started. $5. That's as much as your Starbucks. So if you're gonna come to tell me that you don't have enough money to invest in the stock market, you're lying. Acorns allows you to pick your style of investing, whether you're gonna be aggressive or passive. You can choose the frequency of your investments, whether you want to do it every day, every week, every month. And it takes that money, invest it into partial shares depending on your style. They have what is my favorite feature, the roundups option. And think of it like this. You know when you're a little kid and you got your spare change, you throw it in your piggy bank, and you finally go cash that bad boy in? What a great feeling, right? That's what the roundups option is, except for adults. And it makes you more money than you could ever imagine. Essentially, every purchase you make with your linked cards will round up to the nearest dollar and invest into your account. So say you buy something for, say your Starbucks cost you $5.35, that's 65 cents they automatically deposit into your account. Okay. We gotta calm down. I know you're excited about this, I am too, but that's just one of the awesome features of Acorns. Acorns also does this thing called found money. And essentially it is when you make purchases through their partners, you'll get money directly deposited into your account. So for instance, for every Uber ride that you take, they deposit 50 cents into your account. And if you shop at, say, Walmart, you get 1% added into your account. Now that might not seem a lot, but it's free money. You're gonna use those expenses anyway, so you might as well get paid to do them. There's a monthly fee of $1 a month for the account, but in my opinion, I think the pros heavily outweigh how much it costs. And if Acorns hasn't won you over by now, if you use my link down below, they'll invest $5 to you and me for free. It's a win-win. So go sign up. The second place that I'm going to be recommending to go for partial shares is M1 Finance. Is M1 Finance. They are similar to Acorns in which you can set up automatic deposits and investments. Those investments can either go into partial or whole shares. It's your choice. What makes M1 Finance unique is that they use something called a pie chart to show your investments. Is essentially it breaks down how much percentage each of your investments are in your account, and you can invest in everything from stocks. They have some REITs, which are real estate funds. They have bonds in there. They also have the option for auto rebalance to your account. So say you want 25% of each, say you have 100% for your portfolio and you have 4 stocks that you want each to be 25% of, M1 Finance will automatically always adjust how much of that stock you own to make it 25% of your entire pie chart. M1 Finance also offers some retirement accounts, and their app is one of the most well-designed apps I've ever used for investing. So the link to sign up with M1 Finance is down below. Some honorable mentions though will be Robinhood. For free stock trades, they don't offer any partial stocks though. The last honorable mention is Stash. It's very similar to Acorns in the sense that you get to choose your style of investing and the frequency at which you do it. They do have some pretty good ETFs, which their creators made. The kind of downside to Stash is they do not have roundups like Acorns does. And that about does it, folks. I know there's a lot of information and your head's probably spinning, but hopefully it did give you a little bit of an understanding about the basics of money, and hopefully maybe give you an idea of where to put your money from here on out. If you did like this video, guys, please smash that like button. It really does help with YouTube. It helps my video get out to other people. If you want more videos like this or more videos of me, hit that subscribe button down below. I do post every Friday. With that said, guys, thank you so much for watching. And as always, think the unthinkable, do the impossible, and live like there's no tomorrow. Till next time, take it easy.